Hi everyone, Chris here, and today I want to wrap up our discussion about project management inside of instructional design. So yesterday I talked a little bit about change management and about how when there's a change that affects the scope of the project, it's very important to have that documented and have some sign-offs on that. And this works both ways. Obviously, if somebody wants more, then you need to quote them the additional cost. And sometimes budgets get cut and you have to shrink the project down. Um, this is why I love putting projects together in phases, phase one, phase two, phase three. And if done well, sometimes phase two can pay for phase three. So if the budget gets cut before you're ready to do it all off, you could postpone phase three. Yeah, I hate budget cuts. But assuming that the project went well and it's done and complete, you then get to close the project. And formally closing the project is always a fun thing to do because it means things are done. The first thing that you'll need to do when you close out a project is check to see if you have any accounts open. You'll definitely want to close those accounts, especially for internal budgeting. Sometimes you'll have a budget line made just for your project. And if you're done, then it's time to send whatever surplus you have back. You'll also need to officially have a sign off of the project being completed by whoever you're delivering the project to. So this is usually a handoff meeting. I love to get the signatures. You'll need a formal close that clearly delineates this is done. We are finished with this project. Because you don't want to end up working on the same project for 3 years if you thought it was only going to take 6 months. Then I like to get together with the team and sort of ask everybody for any lessons learned. What should we not do next time? What should we definitely do next time? What saved us a lot of money? Saved us a lot of time? All of those little things. And I like to put those together with the project documentation, but also have them for reference for myself moving forward. Then sometimes at the project handoff meeting and sometimes a little bit later, getting feedback from whomever you've developed the project for, ensuring that you kind of like the lessons learned from outside people. I put those together. Next is to archive the project. And this is not just the documentation for the project, because of course, hindsight is never 20/20. Somebody's going to question why something was done. So having all of these documents easily referenced can save you from later criticism or can save you from even second guessing yourself. Definitely need to archive all the project documentation. But in instructional design, there's another component, and that is you need to archive all of your raw files. You need to archive any raw footage. You need to archive any Adobe Illustrator files, any Captivate files, all of it. Scripts, storyboards, all of it needs to be archived. And there's a couple of ways to do this. I like to have an archive on an external file server that's year by year, and then inside of each year is a month by month, and I do when the project closes. And then inside of the month, I'll have a description of the project. And I typically leave that just sort of like the folder structure, just sort of like expanding down video, storyboards, like whatever the descriptive folders are, for a little bit, just in case somebody comes back sooner rather than later. And then you have to choose a time that's appropriate when you're going to zip all that up into one package so you don't lose anything. Yeah, and then it's archived on the file server, which is hopefully backed up off-site. And there's only one thing left to do after that. After the project is safely archived, it's time to throw a party. Parties are great. And it doesn't have to be a huge production. It can be donuts. It can be just, playing a fun song, something so that the entire team can get together. And this is a great time to pull out any additional lessons learned. Informal settings can sometimes let people speak a little bit more freely. And if you're there with your notes, you can make your next project that much more successful. And if you're the guy who brings in donuts for everybody after a project is complete, then people also like to work on your projects more. Just another thought. Anyway, that's project management in a nutshell, a really tiny nutshell, because there is a huge, huge amount to project management here. Look at this. This is the project management body of knowledge book. And look at how thick this is. This is crazy. There's a lot to project management. And the more projects you work on and the more formal you get, it really is kind of fun. Oof. Well, that's all for today. And tomorrow, I don't know, we'll talk about something else instructional design related.